Hello again. We're continuing our Word Bomb segments on Psalm 1, and I'm looking at just the rest of verse 1. Yesterday I looked at verse 1, just the first part, and how David starts the Psalms off with talking about the blessing. He says, "Blessed is the man who," and then goes down these different things. And yesterday, I'll just read all of verse 1, and we'll go from there. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. That's the segment we covered yesterday. Then it says, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. Now, looking at this segment and this progression, I should say, I believe there's a progression of activity when it comes to godliness or wickedness. And it starts off by taking in the advice, the counsel, the mindset, the way of thinking. We take on the way of thinking of the people around us. I've heard it said oftentimes before, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And often we think of this with young people, but it's true of adults too, that you show me your friends and I'll show you your future. But the progression often is we take in these mindsets, these thoughts, and then we surround ourselves. We stand in the way of sinners. So not only are we taking in the thoughts, now we're partaking of the activity of sinners. We're doing things that are not of God. We're partaking of things that are not of God, and we're allowing that to flow from our life. So our feet are going in the direction, and we're around people who aren't honoring God. And sometimes it's as simple as people who just don't acknowledge Christ. And we want Jesus to be lifted up. And so it's really subtle, because oftentimes there are people that aren't harming others, that don't seem to be. But when we allow our mindsets to be filled with things that are just not under God's blessing, then we have the potential of going in a direction that we don't want to go, that isn't filled with God's blessing. And so then it progresses into we sit in the seat of mockers. And so in the path of sin, it's like our thinking, our mindset becomes contrary to God and filled with wickedness and ways that are not Him, of God, and often it's just grounded on our own understanding, and we leave a door open for the enemy to twist and distort things. And so we think we can kind of decide what's true and decide what's not, and we can just kind of make our own judgments, and that's dangerous. We want our judgments to be based on the ways of God. And so that's the progression. We start thinking this way, then we surround ourselves with people that are thinking that way, and it further establishes our path that is going in a different direction than what God would have us to do. And then we get really comfortable there, and we sit in the seat of mockers. And now our discussion, what we talk about, we become so far from the truth that now we mock the truth, and sometimes we even think that we're in a place of godliness. We think that we have the right understanding because we've separated ourselves and detached ourselves from the counsel of God, and we've come under the counsel of the wicked. And that's a dangerous place to be. So I want to encourage you, and it's coming more. We're gonna be coming to this in the Psalm, but I want to encourage you to get God's word in your mind, get around godly people, whether it be right now through video-based and through connections on the phone, and gatherings are fine right now, 10 or less. So get around some godly people. Get out of your house and get around some godly people and begin to stir up that faith. Get that counsel of God flowing in your life, and trust that His blessing and that the happiness that comes from walking in His blessing will flow in your life. God bless you, and let's stay faithful to Him in these days ahead.